What's up everyone, welcome back. Patrick here, and moving on to the next example. So the number of people in 12 Starbucks locations in the Toronto downtown core at 9 a.m. was sampled with the results below over here. We have to create a box whisker plot for the data. So very similar example that we've done before, but in that example we had to make a stem leaf plot. Now we're going to be making a box whisker plot. So first thing we got to do, like we did in the other examples where we made box whisker plots, is arrange the data from smallest to largest, because we're going to have to find a bunch of medians. So starting with this 4 here, and then we'll have 5. Then the next number is 8, and notice that it appears twice. So we write it twice. Then we'll have the 10, that appears twice. And then we'll have the 16. And then we'll have 18, which appears twice. 21, which appears twice. And then 24. And then let's count these just to make sure. So we got 4, 8, 12. So we could be pretty confident that we got everything. So there's 12 observations, and so where is the median going to be, or the second quartile? It's going to be at the position n plus 1 divided by 2. So it's going to be at 12 plus 1 divided by 2, which gives us 6.5. So it's going to be between the 6th and the 7th position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So between these two right there. Those are the two middle observations, and we have to take the average of them. So 10 plus 16 divided by 2, that would give us 13. So 13 would be the median, or the second quartile. And now what we got to do is we got to look at the first half of the data, and we would include that 10 in that first half. Remember, in the overview video on quartiles and box whisker plots, I mentioned that if you have an even number of observations, which we do right now, it's 12, the median is going to be an average of two numbers, and then each of those numbers you include in their respective halves. So you would include the 16 in the second half as well. So now to find the first quartile, you got to find the median in this data here. So notice that there are 6 observations. So we're dealing with even halves, because it is 6 and 6. So 6 plus 1 divided by 2 is 3.5. So it's going to be between the 3rd and 4th position. So it's going to be the average of these two. Right? Those are the two middle observations. And notice the average between two 8s is just 8 itself. So that's going to be the first quartile. And then over here, same thing, 1, 2, 3. So the middle between these two right there. So we got to average these numbers out. So 18 plus 21 divided by 2, that would be what? 39? Divided by 2, which would give us 19.5. So 19.5 is the third quartile of this data. And if we wanted to find the interquartile range, then it would be what? The third quartile minus the first. So it would be 19.5 minus the 8, which would give us 11.5. So that's the interquartile range of this data. So we have the quartiles, we have the smallest number, which is 4, we have the largest number, which is 24, and now we can make the box whisker plot. So I made a scale over here that's going up by 2s from 0 all the way to 24, because that's where the largest value is, and it represents the number of people. So I have the 5-number summary here, so let's make this plot. So the smallest number is 4, so we're going to start right there. The first quartile is going to be 8, should be here. second quartile, or the median of all of the data, is going to be at 13, which would be here. Then we'll have 19.5. And then we'll have the largest value, 24. So the way this looks, we have the whiskers out to the smallest and largest data. And then for the quartiles, we got to make a box with a line going through the first quartile, the second quartile, or the median, and then the third quartile. And then you can also show this in a vertical fashion like this, so exact same scale, just on the y-axis. And then you can have multiple box plots, or box whisker plots as well. So this would be maybe for like one city, the Toronto downtown core, and then maybe you'll have another one for like NYC. You sampled 12 Starbucks locations in NYC or other cities, and then you can compare the box whisker plots and see how the data compares. The central tendency with that median, and then also the variability.